Samuppada, dependent origination, number 17. We have completed the 11 links and 12 factors of dependent origination. Buddha taught us dependent origination interwoven with many aspects of Buddhism, such as karma, rebirth, death, law of cause and effect, different realms of existence, different consciousness and mental factors, matter, rupa, 5 aggregates, 6 sense bases, mental contact, phassa, process of perception. 3 common characteristics of mind and matter, anicca, dukkha, anatta. 3 modes of time, uti, bin. Ignorance, arising of beings due to the law of conditionality, a natural phenomenon, not out of creation. There are many aspects of Buddhism in this dependent origination. That's why Buddha said it is deep and profound, even though it looks quite easy on the surface. Today we will discuss a bit more which are the so-called hidden or half-hidden factors in the dependent origination, not so obviously seen, but actually we have discussed these in detail during the last 16 talks. First and foremost is, of course, 12 parts or 12 factors. In Pali it's called Anga, Anga, A-N-G-A. These are, as you all know, it's ignorance, mental formation, relinking consciousness, mind and matter, 6 sense bases, mental contact, feeling, craving, grasping, and life action, rebirth, and decay and death. Those are the 12 parts that Buddha put it in the construction of this dependent origination, the wheel of life and death, unending wheel of life and death. So that's one aspect in God. This is very obvious to us, but as it is the main, we are reciting here. The next one is, in this dependent origination, it covers 3 time periods. In Pali it's called Adda, A-D-D-H-A, Adda. So these 12 represent 3 different lives: past life, present life, and future life. That's why it said 3 periods: past life, present life, and future life. And out of the 12, the first 2, ignorance and mental formation, belongs to the past life. And then relinking consciousness, mind and matter, 6 sense spaces, mental contact, feeling, craving, grasping, and life action. It belongs to the present life, 8 of them. Buddha put 8 in the present life so that we can understand in detail how things work. So that we can have an intellectual understanding as well as practical application. And the last life, of course, is rebirth, decay and death. Decay and death is taken as one. So there are 2. Rebirth is 1, decay and death is 1. So altogether 12, 2 belongs to the past life, 8 belongs to the present life, and the remaining 2 belongs to the future life. So that is another aspect of dependent origination, period, time period. And the next one is, you can see as a 4 segments or 4 phases. Sankepa, S-A-N-K-E-P-H-A, Sankepa. 4 phases or 4 segments. The first one, of course, past life causes is 1 segment. Past life causes, 1 segment. It belongs to the active zone. You remember what active zone is? Active zone is where karma is formed. So 1 segment is past life causes. Another second segment is present life result phase. Present life result phase. And that is a passive zone. Passive zone means in this zone, whatever the factors are in there, they cannot produce karma. They cannot form karma. That is second segment, second phase. And the third one is present life causes phase. That's the third segment. Present life causes. So as I say causes, of course it's an active zone where karma is formed. And the last and the 4th segment is the future life result. That is the passive zone. As soon as you hear the word result, vipaka, that is passive. As soon as you hear the word karma, that is active and passive. So that is another aspect. It's built in this dependent origination. Inga, parts or factors. Sankepa, 3 time period. Adda, 3 time period, Sankepa, 4 segments or 4 phases. The fourth one we need to know is Akara, 20 modes. 20 modes. Of course, we already know there are 4 segments or 4 phases in this rounds of birth and death, which consists of 12 parts of 12 factors. In the discourse is shown and expressed with 12 factors. However, there are actually 20 modes in the same round, past, present and future. There are 20 modes, which is based on the 12 parts. The part doesn't increase, but it becomes 20 modes if you want to understand it with precision. One need to understand the nature of the different type of consciousness and mental factors and the mental law, how these 20 modes arises. Okay. To understand how these 12 factors become 20 modes. But we'll touch briefly here. Let's take the past life causes. Past life causes segment or phase. Okay. It is expressed as 2 parts, which is ignorance and mental formation. But actually, those 2 parts are presented with the 5 modes. 2 become 5. And what are these 5? These 5 are ignorance, mental formation, craving, grasping, and life action. Why? We said 2 and now we put it 5. The reason is avijja, ignorance, tanha, craving, upadana, grasping. Those 3 are mental associates, and it belongs to the round of kilesa. Whenever there's a kilesa, mental defilements, these 3 are always there. So, even though we say in the past life segment there are only 2, actually it is 5. Ignorance become 1 become 3. Ignorance, craving and grasping. And then sankhara, volitional activities, and karma bhava, life actions. Those two belongs to the round of karma. As they belong to the round of karma, both coexist. Both are there. That's why 1 become 2. 1 become 3 and 1 become 2. So 2 become 5. And the reasons are they belong to the a certain round Buddha. Okay. Kilesa Buddha and Kama Buddha. That's how 2 become 5. And the next one is present life result phase or segment. It has 5 modes. In the original discourse, there are 5 modes, and also here it's 5 modes. It cannot be extend or expand, it cannot be reduced. So it is exactly the same in both. The first one, 2 become 5. The second one, 5, is still a 5. And the third one, present life causes segment of phase. Present life causes segment of phase. In the original discourse, there are 3. Dhamma, craving; upadana, grasping; and karma bhava, life action. There are 3. But we have explained on the first segment, whenever there is dhamma, there is ignorance. Whenever there is ignorance, there is dhamma and upadana. They are mental associates, and they belong to the round of kilesa. So those, even whenever you see one, you must know there are always 3. And of course, karma bhava. Karma bhava is 1 in the present cause. But as we already know, whenever there is karma bhava, there is sankhara. Whenever there is wholesome and unwholesome, physical, verbal, and mental actions, there is volitional activities. They are together. So 3 become 5. So first segment, past life, segment 1 has 5. Present life, segment 2 has 5. Present life, segment 3 has 5. We have 15. And the fourth one is of course future. Future life result segment. The segment of future life result. So in here, the result, in the discourse, it shows quite differently from the result of the present life. The way it shows is rebirth, decay, death, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair. That's the way it's shown. But that is presented more in a sense of a manifestation of the result. You can see them as rebirth, old age, and death, sorrow, lamentation, something that you can see, you can feel, you can touch, and you can experience directly. Intended for I use the word shock value to give you a sense of urgency. And also there's another purpose. Rebirth, old age, and death covers all 31 realms of existence. In other words, it covers every and any types of living beings. And the remaining 5, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair. These are called incidental consequences. They are not unavoidable. In other words, based on what you have done in the past, you may be experiencing them or you may not be experiencing it at all. And even if you are experiencing some a lot more than the other, some a lot less than the other. But anyway, that's how Buddha put it in the dependent origination at the fourth segment, which is the future life result. But if you want to put it in a technical way, technically, it is exactly the same as present life result, which is relinquishing consciousness, mind and matter, six sense basis, mental contact, and feeling. So there are five. Technically it is five. So there are five in the first segment, five in the second segment, five in the third segment, five in the fourth segment. Altogether 20. Call it 20 modes. 20 modes. Akara. That is precise way to know how the causes and results are operating and how many of them are and in what way and why they increased. That's one aspect. Another aspect is three connections. You will see three connections in this dependent origination. Sandhi. S-A-N-D-H-I. Sandhi in Pali. Three connections. So, what are these connections? First of all is the past life causes and the present life result. There's one connection. From the past life to the present life, there's one connection. But past life are the causes and the present life are the result. Dependent origination is presented in a cause and effect or cause and result. So that's the one connecting point when we are looking at the three different lives, past, present, and future lives. Past life causes and the present life result. There's one connection. And the second one is present life result. Present life result. And the present life causes. There's another connection. What are the present life result? Relinquishing consciousness, mind and matter, six sense basis, mental contact, and feeling. And there it stopped. All the results stop right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, based on the results, using these results as a foundation, okay, the causes arise. Causes mean active, results mean passive. Based on that passive, the active will be arising. And what are they? Tanha, craving, upadana, clinging or grasping, karma bhava, life action. So there's a connection, another connection. The connection is present life result and the present life causes. And that cause is very, very important for us, practicing Buddhist, because that Vedana feeling and the Tanha craving, that connection, if you are not mindful of it, if you are not observing acutely and precisely that connection, it rolls on as if there is no break. It rolls on, it goes on. But if one is very acutely mindful, with precision observing when that feeling arises, if one is acutely mindful at the time of feeling arising, automatically that craving cannot arise anymore. If you are unmindful, craving arises. If you are mindful, craving cannot arise. And that is how we break the chain of birth and death. That link, how we stop the change or break the change of birth and death. And the tool is mindfulness, with precision between the present life result and the present life causes. So in here, that's a second connection. Second connection, and then the present life runs on and on. Present life runs mean those 8 factors are going on and on and on and on. Mostly unmindfully, sometime mindfully. And throughout your whole present life, that is what is happening. And then, of course, one life expired. When it expires, the next life goes again, comes up again. Why? Because of the karma we have accumulated in this life. That karma is the driving agent. That karma is the cause. Because of the karma, the next life arises. Rebirth, jati arises. So that is another link. That link is our present life and the future life. There's another link. So there are 3 links in this dependent origination. The first one and the last one is quite obvious. Past life and present life. The last one is present life and future life. But something that is obscure, even not noticeable to most of the people, is that link between the present life results and present life causes, between feeling and craving. That is an obscure link. Obscure link. Most of us don't know. But if you are precisely mindful and acutely aware, that link becomes very obvious, and you have the power. Mindfulness has the power to break that link. Craving not to arise out of feeling. Vedana nirodha, tanha nirodho. cessation of the feeling is the cause. Extinction of the craving is the effect. That link, 3 links, but the middle one is an obscure link. So that is called 3 connection, sandhi. These are the things that Buddha built in this discourse. The next one, I think we have heard this quite often, that word Buddha, round. Okay? There are 3 rounds. We will brush it through this. We talk quite often about it. 3 rounds. One round is rounds of defilements. Rounds of defilement. Kilesa Buddha. Okay. In Kilesa Buddha, what are the factors under operation? They are ignorance, craving, and grasping. Those 3 are called Kilesa Buddha, or round of mental defilement. And the next one is Kama Buddha, round of karma. In the rounds of karma, how many? 2. Sankhara, volitional activities, and karma bhava, life action. That's a round of karma. And the 3rd round is called round of result. Vipaka Buddha, round of result. Okay. And what factors are in the round of result? Relinquishing consciousness, mind and matter, 6 sense bases, mental contact, and feeling, vedana. Those are the 3 rounds. So these 12 parts in here, it presented as 3 rounds. 12 parts are represented as 3 rounds. Round of defilements, mental defilements, rounds of karma, and rounds of resultant. And they go round and round and round. When there's a result, something arises. That's a kilesa. When there's a kilesa, something is done. That is sankhara. When something is done, there's a result. Rounds of results. When there's a result, kilesa arise again. Rounds of mental defilement. When there's a mental defilement, you do something. Rounds of karma. Endless, go on and on. That little loop, or you can call it that great big loop, can be broken at the 3 connections, specifically the 2nd obscure one, between feeling and craving. So that is Buddha, the round, 3 rounds. Okay. And the next one is, in this dependent origination, you can call it 2 roots for endless rebirth, or endless cycle of birth and death, samsara. The samsara has 2 main big roots. In Pali it's called mula, M-U-L-A, mula. 2 roots, mula. So here we know there are 12 parts or 12 factors in dependent origination. And these 12 parts are divided into two sections. 12 parts divided into two sections. Each section contains causes and result. Each section contains causes and result. Okay. The first section is from ignorance, starting from the ignorance and ends at feeling. Okay. Ignorance, karma formation, those are the causes. Relinquishing consciousness, mind and matter, six sense bases, mental contact, and feeling. That's a result. A pair. Cause and result. So that is the first section. Start at ignorance and ends at feeling. And the next one, the second one, it starts from craving. Okay. Craving, grasping, and life action. Those are the causes. And ends at jara, jati, jara, marana, death. Ends at death. The first three is causes, craving, grasping, and life action. The second three, in fact it is two, but let's call it three: rebirth, old age, and death. Three for all 31 planes of existence. And 5 more: sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair, are for 11 sense realms beings, which is one of 11 is us, human. So the main root, these are called the main root. Ignorance. The main root or driving engine of the first session. Okay, the first section is ignorance. Past life causes and present life result. That's the first section. In that first section, ignorance is the key driving force, key driving engine, the main root. And in the second section, Dhamma, craving. Craving is the key roots, main roots, or the key driving engine for it to go on. So there are two. The first session, the leader is ignorance. The second section, the leader is craving. But we all know craving and ignorance coexist. They just take the different role. In the first section, ignorance take the leadership role. In the second section, craving take the leadership role. So those two, ignorance and craving, are called the two roots, mula, the two roots that is driving this circle of birth and death endlessly. Mula. Okay, let's see what is being built in this dependent origination. Lokiya Sassa. What is Lokiya Sassa? It is the two mundane noble truths. There are four noble truths. The first two, noble truth of suffering and noble truth of the cause of suffering, they are called mundane noble truth, lokiya. And the other two, noble truth of the cessation of suffering and noble truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering, those two are called Lokottara Sissa, ultra mundane truth. The first two is mundane noble truth. The second two is ultra mundane noble truth. In dependent origination, you will see the first two noble truths. So let's see the 5 results. What are the 5 results? Relinquishing consciousness, mind and matter, 6 sense basis, mental contact, and feeling. Okay. Those 5 are the result, in Pali called vipaka, the result of vipaka, or the fruits of karma, if you like, the fruits of karma of one's past life. And these 5 arises all together. Okay. When in explanation, it's in sequence, logical sequences. One is the condition, another is the effect condition, or cause and effect, cause and effect. But in actuality, they all arises together and support in a very intricate way each other, one another, condition each other, one another in an intricate way. And these 5 are innate in nature. Innate means they cannot produce karma, or passive, innate. But act as a fertile ground for the mental defilement, kilesa, to grow. Without that ground, kilesa cannot grow. Only on that ground, kilesa grow or arise. And these 5 belong to the present life result as well as in a future life result. So 2 segments, present life result and future life result. 2 segments you can find there. And if you remember, Buddha taught us suffering. What is suffering? In short, nama rupa, mind and matter is suffering. Mind and matter is suffering. Mind and matter is dukkha. But these 5 results are, in a way, is simply mind and matter. That is why these 5 results, or mental factors, represent the noble truth of suffering, dukkha sissa. So, present life result and future life result are dukkha sissa. If you understand them experientially thoroughly, those 5, you understand dukkha sissa, the noble truth of suffering. Okay, another one is sankhara, mental formation. Sankhara, in the strictest sense, is this mental formation or sankhara in the strictest sense is Cetasika, mental associates. 50 Cetasika, not 52. What it means is there are altogether 52 Cetasika, but from that 52 you subtract 2. One is feeling, one is mental contact, vedana and phassa. If you subtract those 2, there are remaining 50 which are still parts of Cetasika, mental associate. And these are called sankhara. These are called mental formation. And these mental formations, when the volitional activities rooted in ignorance are performed, karma arises. These 50 Cetasikas are always associated with volition. So any activities in these mental formations are alive, there is cetana, volition. So whenever volitional activities are formed, karma is formed. That is sankhara. And let's go to another one, life action, karma bhava. Karma bhava is a wholesome and unwholesome, physical, verbal, and mental activities or actions. Karma bhava, life action, is wholesome or unwholesome, physical, verbal, and mental actions. These rooted in craving, when these activities rooted in cravings are performed, karma arises. Same thing. Volitional activities rooted in ignorance are performed, karma arises. Wholesome and unwholesome activities rooted in craving are performed, karma arises. Both end up into karma. So in here, sankhara belong to the past life. Life actions belong to the present life. That's the only difference. Both produce karma, but sankhara for the past life and life actions for the present life. Once karma is formed, whichever way it is, once karma is formed by any of the two key roots, ignorance or craving, it will produce result. Karma is formed, result will produce, no if or but. And what are the results? The results are relinking consciousness, mind and matter, six sense bases, mental contact, and feeling. They will produce that. And those two roots, craving, grasping, and ignorance, is the noble truth of the cause of suffering. Because those five results are the first noble truth of suffering. So the one that produces is the cause that produces suffering. That's why ignorance, Sankhara and Kama Bhava are the cause of suffering, the second noble truth. Samudaya Sissa. So that's how these two noble truths are intertwined or weaved in the dependent origination they represent. So if you can eliminate the cause, what are the causes? Ignorance, craving and grasping. Ignorance, craving and grasping. If you can eliminate them, you have eliminated the causes. If you eliminate the causes, there will be no more result. What is the result? Suffering. Suffering is exterminated. So, dependent origination is about noble truth of suffering and the noble truth of the cause of suffering. And these two are called mundane noble truth, Lokiya Sissa. So those are the various aspects weaved in this dependent origination discourse. And if you follow through everything, at the beginning I mentioned quite a few aspects of Buddhism. They are all there. You will find that dependent origination is really profound and deep, not simple as one might think at a glance. May all of you be able to understand dependent origination intellectually, theoretically, and may you be able to apply to your life and to your practice whenever possible and attain insight into the nature of mind and matter. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much.